Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Volleyball with your humble and gracious host, Graeme Arend Mentor. It's been a while since the last video. Hopefully you guys can see a change in quality of video because we have upgraded from a phone to a camera. And we thought what better time to come to you guys and just shoot another episode. Over to your host.
Ja, goeienaand, good evening, good day, salam, goeiedag allemaal. Awake moet altijd erin komen. Moweni. It's the start of a new year, our first podcast for 2026. So yeah, we're looking forward to a brand new year of volleyball. We've already started our top 4 pre-season volleyball tournament here at Ep3 September Hall in Athlone.
Before you continue with the top 4, I just want you to, firstly, we need to cater for those who maybe aren't from the volleyball community. So I want you to explain what the top 4 is. And secondly, I want you to give the people, the 4 teams who are competing in the top 4.
Well, we had a long league, Premier League last year, and what the union does, Cape Town Volleyball Federation, they take last year's log positions, the top 4, and then they play in a pre-season event the following year, and obviously the following year is now, and they're fighting it out at the Ep3 September Hall in Athlone. That's basically it. I don't want to go through all the because we've got a female component and a male section. Okay. And just know that even though it's the start of the season, it's still tough competition because it's the top 4 teams fighting it out. The story of the week is around volleyball starting so early, and people may not know. I think it's the first time that we start this pre-season tournament this early in the very first month. I think it hasn't happened before.
That's fine.
The reason for that, I think, is because the month of Ramadan is coming soon, and we have people following that faith, and we just as a union at this point catering for a certain holy month for a certain faith. Yes.
And I think the league only officially starts April.
Yeah. Want to get the people to come and watch and get some bums on seats at the formerly known Athlone Civic, Ep3 September Hall in Athlone.
Now, this next segment started off as quick-fire questions. However, I think it's evolving and we're just going with the flow. And so, you mentioned that. Well, did you mention the 4 teams in the male section at least?
No, I didn't.
There's a reason why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because obviously Crystal House is
one of the 4.
Of the 4 who is the team that you coach.
Yes.
And maybe just as a question, or the origin story of Crystal House Volleyball Club and how things started there.
Well, that's now more than 10 years ago, we're starting our 11th season as Crystal House Volleyball Club. Started because me being a volleyballer saw that there's someone who was a colleague at the time. His name is Randall Daniels. He had fencing. Now having our children now, I would urge you to go and research just a little bit around. Maybe I shouldn't say Crystal House, maybe I should say Crystal House South Africa and Crystal House Volleyball Club, just so that you know how to spell it. It's with an E. So Crystal House South Africa is in Ep3. And Randall Daniel started a whole fencing club at the school. And I saw, but how is it that a sport like fencing that we don't know on the Cape Flats, it's a sport with lots of equipment, and it's just different to what we are used to where we come from. And he's created this hub around fencing, and players from the townships came to grow within the sport and represented South Africa. And I thought, well, if Randall can do this with fencing, then surely a sport where you need so little to compete and to play, like volleyball, we must start this very same thing at the school. And you know, life is about partnerships, and the school is great in that way, whereby the facility is being used for the growth of the sport, and we got it going. Yes, I'm seen as the founder member as the Crystal House Volleyball Club, but it was the seed that was planted by Randall. And I will, and not just me, the rest of the club and the volleyball fraternity may not know that it actually started with someone outside of volleyball who opened my eyes that this thing is possible. And spoke with the CEO at the time, and spoke about the name of the club and how we're going to do this. And Crystal House South Africa, which is the school component, they are just keen for us to use the facility. And when I say facility, I mean the indoor volleyball hall. It's a normal hall, but we have an excellent volleyball net that we have there, which was sponsored by a very close volleyball friend, Kurt Maritz, who's the owner of Maritz Electrical. And and now we have this net available to the children of the school, but also the club members to use. So yeah, that's how it started. And
I apologize for that. I had a bit of technical issues, so we're still learning.
nothing wrong with learning.
As I.
Let me tell our millions and millions of followers how I remember this. I know we got married, not you and I, my wife and I.
Oh.
2015, the following year, we started Crystal House Volleyball Club, and that would mean that last year was our 10th season.
Okay.
So our first season was 2016, and our 10th season we completed.
Okay.
And 2025, starting our 11th season now. Yes.
The reason I'm asking is because there are not many new clubs that come and stick around for that long. Not to toot our own horn or anything like that. I'm just trying to get the perspective of a coach who started from the tar outside courts to in the wall, and now hopefully going after the league.
Yeah, well, I learned a valuable lesson in the following: jump and the net will appear. Maybe that book will be in our book segment in time to come, but
Can't be a volleyball book.
that's not a volleyball.
No, I'm saying
because the net, we don't want to.
Yeah. It doesn't follow the rules of our game.
So as a volleyballer, you don't want to jump and the net will appear. You want to not touch the net. But yeah, jumping meaning taking a leap and not waiting for everything to be perfect
And safe.
Yes, and trust that the net will appear and you will land safely. So that's what it was. We jumped, and we didn't have a land map worked out, a route to follow to whatever. It was simple. We wanted to help in this sport reaching more people. And I, in those early days, knew that was before we even had any females at the club, that even if our players become the best volleyballers in the country, and they the best known for their volleyball skill and achievements and accolades, that is still secondary. The primary goal is for us to help these men to be better men, better dads, better husbands, and that was our foundation, and that was what we tried to build on. That it's more than, as much as volleyball means to us, it's more than volleyball.
Now, the reason why I love this segment is that it just goes on a tangent, and one question becomes another, and so on, and we just flow. And if it were up to us, we would be speaking here for hours.
Yeah.
As you mentioning making boys into men and using volleyball in this case as the tool or whatever, I think back at my early days playing, and a certain someone was my coach in an under 21 team, and at the time I wasn't good enough, and I was soft and couldn't see from that point of view. I think a lot of our younger guys never learn that lesson of everyone isn't out to get you. It is your job as a player, or as a man, or as a person in life, to look within yourself and grow from that. And yeah, well, I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I've always had this standpoint that the answer is always within. Now, we don't always look there first. We often want to blame and point fingers. And even in our language, we would say things that we just take it for granted. This is how we must talk, but we don't realize the magnitude of what we say. If we say something as simple as, "You anger me, jy maak my kwaad," it's not taking the blame, not looking within. It's placing it on someone else and telling that person and giving your power away, as opposed to saying, "I choose to be angry." We don't ever say that. We say, "Jy maak my kwaad." So that's important. That like you say, we as coaches, we're not there to get you, and we also, though we try to be positive as much as we can, because what gets recognized gets done. So we want to say that is done well, then we know more of that will come. So we're looking out for that, but it's not always, and that's not how the world necessarily works. So if I want to assist and I see something that I want you to change, it's not me trying to get at you and to just be negative towards you. That's not the aim. The aim is to help, and the player needs to also see they have a role to play as well. Where the coach, we want to help, but we also can't be soft. When I tell you in the even if it's in my most gentle way to say, "Yes, but you are not good enough to be in the first six." No matter how I say it, you don't get it, because in your head you think that you had to be in that first six, and I couldn't, and it was difficult because my son was in the team, and now I need to break my son's heart, but I couldn't not be true to what is happening. So I needed, not just you, all players, they need to trust me. If I lie to you, then obviously I can lie to another player, and if I'm soft towards you and not to them, they can't trust me ever. So it's just a matter of principle, and we as not just coaches but as parents, we want to take problems away. We don't want to, we want to take the muck away, but we don't achieve anything without dirtying our hands, without the muck, without all of that is necessary to get where we want to be. And I can't take that away from you. You know, as a boy, you used to come to me, you want me to tell the people what I used to tell you if you come to me with a problem.
Imagine you're alone in the desert or it was that.
Yeah, imagine you're alone. You must do something. You must solve the problem, and that's what when we coach, we must try and bring that in as well, and not just be the savior, so to be, to the players. Allow them to also problem solve. Allow them to grow. And that you will never, that was a life lesson. And even though at the time my heart was also broken when I needed to tell you what I needed to tell you, but we all grow, and sometimes we as coaches, we also mess up, and we also here to learn, and sometimes we may also have the wrong tone, or you know, communication is key, but if that communication is in the wrong tone, there's a problem.
Okay. Next segment. Spotlight Player of the Week.
I want to change that for today. This is a spotlight and limelight and every kind of light on this player. Today I think it's our first male that we're talking about in this segment.
Serious?
Yeah, we've always.
Oh, I gave mine.
Yeah,
No, man, we did
international players were always the female beach volleyball players.
Oh, that one. Oh, when I spoke about.
Yeah.
What's the German guy's name?
Yeah.
Winkler.
Yes.
You had a female.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Today, special mention is going to be made, and it's the GOAT, Charles Corrali. Yes, his name is Charles
Corrali.
We all know him as Carts Corali, and the Americans, I don't know, they don't read every letter in his surname. You just hear them go Corali. I don't even know. I don't know. Yeah, it's more like Carts Corali. So I don't know, but we read every letter. Somebody. I was a young man and was blown away that someone who's 6'2" could be this brilliant volleyball player. And I knew him as an indoor volleyball player, having won the Olympics 3 times as a player in 1984, 1988 as captain of the US team, and then that was indoor volleyball, by the way, the first 2. Now, we spoke a little bit in our last episode about 1995 and the significance of 1995, where we could play in almost like an Olympic qualifying event here at the waterfront, now a little bit more than 30 years ago. And everyone who needed points came to play, including the Sinjin Smith and Henkels of the world, Emmanuel and Zamako. These players were here. Someone who wasn't here was Carts Corali. I think the reason was because he had already qualified for the following year's Olympics, which was Atlanta 1996. And at that Olympics, as a beach volleyball player, he won that thing with his partner Ken Steffes. So already.
So where did you get the bronze?
Pardon?
He doesn't have a bronze.
I don't think he works on bronze.
He doesn't have any bronze medals.
Well, I'm talking about 3 gold. The only
Oh.
bronze he could have could be as a coach.
Oh, no. I thought
Yeah.
he had a bronze
But
also.
listen to this. Listen to this. With the females indoor volleyball team, the US females indoor volleyball team, he won gold at the last Olympics.
Yes.
Or was it 2020 in Japan? It could have been in Japan, so I need to double check that. But he's got with the females Olympics, so 4 gold medals. They have him as their
The male coach.
male coach. So guess what they want? They know he's got the Midas touch. They know whatever he touches turns to gold. So he's with the males team now, and they are hoping that he could help them win gold. So Karts Karali is, if you don't know him, look him up. Charles Karts Frederick Karali.
Yep.
I haven't been privileged to meet him. I know some
Privileged to meet him?
in person.
No, you said met him.
I haven't met him. I would have loved to have met him. And maybe it's not too late, you never know.
No, I think your sentence, the grammar was wrong.
Oh, okay, I apologize. Die Engels, so hier. Anyway, what I want to say is, I'm jealous of those people out there who have had the opportunity to, in some way or other, hooked up with Karts Karali. I just want to say one little thing before we move off. When the South African leg of the World Series was here, I think it was around about 2008. It was here at Camps Bay. I was a little bit away from volleyball because 2007, I think I was in the motor trade at the time. Anyway, it was here. And you know, they had these shuttles that take them from the hotel to the event
Venue.
itself and back. And so somehow I was in one of those combis, and I spoke to one of the players, and I just mentioned Karts Karali's name, and what they said was, "Nah, he's old." But it was just a joke. They were just too happy that he was old and over the hill by that time, because they know this is a man who's won 148 beach volleyball events. And now you must remember, before he came back to the beach, he went to Italy, which was the biggest indoor league at the time. So money was to be made after all those Olympics. And he didn't just come straight to beach after those Olympics. He went to go play club volleyball in Italy with his American teammate Steve Timmons. He was the backline hitter. I was very keen to follow him because I enjoyed hitting the backline. But what I'm saying is, how do you win 148 tournaments, international tournaments, but you didn't just play beach volleyball? You had this illustrious indoor volleyball career, and still when you step onto the beach, no one can touch you. So today, I want to say, Karts Karali, you don't know him, look him up. He's the GOAT.
A South African player you should know about. Tell us this week, Graeme, what do you have for us? Who do you have for us?
This South African player is still maybe not a member of the Cristal Volleyball Club, but he was right there in the trenches building this club. And as a player, I have so much respect for him as a player. Firstly, he was never one of the tallest players. He played in the Black Panthers B team, if I remember correctly. I played against him here and there, and only later discovered, but hey, this his jump didn't drop like the rest of us. He still, let me use my hands to explain this. You know, when we're young, we play here, and our height and jump is here. And as we get older, it drops. And maybe his is also here where ours was at the best. But remember, people like me also and others taller than him jumped as high as him, but because we were taller, we could contact the ball when hitting at the higher level, made contact higher than him. So it seemed like we jumped so much higher than him. But what I discovered is that as we got older, our height dropped, and then he came to play for Crystal House Volleyball Club, and I thought, he is now our age. He's in his 40s, I'm sure, and he's not jumping any lower than when he was a youngster. And his longevity in the sport helped the club a lot. And he's still a part of us, even though he lives in Australia now and works in Australia. He still has our club close to him. He's still in our group, follows what's happening. But that's not where I want to go with this.
I was just going to ask.
This is just him as a player and as what he did for our club, and him as a indoor volleyballer, also a beach player. We played many a social beach volleyball event together. However, this man is still today, one of the best referees in the world, who from humble beginnings, struggle beginnings, because he told the story to me just the other day, because he was in South Africa and had a referee's course at Crystal House, the school, where we used the beach volleyball court to do a beach volleyball referees clinic. In 2007, he started his journey to become a beach volleyball referee. Now listen, I sit in front of the TV, I watch the Olympics, I see a friend of ours, I see someone who played our league on the referee stand at the highest level. This is Giovanni Bake. If you don't know him, go look him up. He is from here. He's one of the top 20 referees, if not top 10 in the world, and he's seen it all. And what is even more remarkable is that while he was here, he came to give back, stood in front of everyone, answered questions, did his whole presentation, did the theory, did the practical. Okay, this one was just within one day, but I'm looking forward to him grooming the next Giovanni Bake, because in years to come I want to sit in front of my TV or live at an Olympic event, seeing another or the next South African on the referee stand. Thank you, Giovanni. But I tell you now, Giovanni Bake, our goal is to have him on our podcast live and for us to have a one-on-one with him.
Last segment, Mr. Graeme. Your book of the week, what do you have for us?
Vir eens het ek 'n Afrikaanse boek. For once I have a book, I must say, translated into Afrikaans. It's a book by Dr. John C. Maxwell. Jordan, kan die mense die boek sien?
Perfect.
Okay, so this book, obviously translated to Afrikaans, done by Marinda Ellis. So she translated this book, but when I read it the first time, is Failing Forward. Now, I've never read a book within a weekend. The only reason that I needed to read this book is that I was encouraged to read it by a friend of ours. And I said, okay, we normally don't tell someone, yeah, here's a book, read it, give it back, because that's the best way to lose your books. I tell people, invest in yourself, buy your own book, it's yours. So if I give you a book to read, that doesn't happen often. In fact, I can count on one hand how many times anyone received a book from me to read and to give back. Koop je eie boek. But anyway, Failing Forward is about where John C. Maxwell, and I must also add, I was privileged to be at a talk where he spoke and spoke about leadership and gave a whole lesson. Also, on top of being in the audience and John C. Maxwell is doing the talk, my dad went with me, and that was a special moment. But anyway, Failing Forward talks about how failing doesn't make you a failure, and how failing is not separate to success. Failing is indeed a great part of success and the lessons of that failing brings to eventually get to success. So I would encourage you to give this book a read. It's called Failing Forward in Afrikaans. Maak elke mislukking 'n tree na sukses. Deur John C. Maxwell.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys see the fixtures prior to
The next game.
yeah. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Baie dankie.
Thank you so much.
Dankie. Tot ziens.